What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to talk about a couple of different things today. I want to talk about the railway strike, and I also want to talk about the CPI score. So we talked about this a couple of days ago, but I want to talk about the seriousness of what we need to be watching for when it comes to the CPI score. But first off, on this channel, we talk about money and retirement. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the railway strike. So it looks like it's been averted, and this is really good news because we were looking at a situation where we could have had some supply chain issues, and if we had supply chain issues, that would have been a disaster for inflation. Okay, we already know inflation is high. If we were looking at a situation where our transportation would be affected as far as our supplies, that would just be detrimental to the situation that we're in right now. So the good news is they've averted this strike, and it looks like we can move forward now and not have to worry about that, because that was something else that was on the table that could have really been disastrous for food and just everything when it comes to products, because a lot of our products are brought to us by trains. Okay, so because of that reality, the fact that they were striking or they were considering striking would have been a real bad situation for a lot of people. Okay, so I want to talk about the CPI score. I know I talked about it a couple of days ago when it came out, but we also need to focus on what could potentially happen. Okay, so we don't know when it comes to the COLA, and I talked about COLA a couple of days ago. When it comes to COLA, they're looking at the CPIW, and a couple of days ago I misspoke. I actually said that the CPIW was 8.6. It's actually 8.7. So looking at that number and knowing that we're looking at the CPIW when it comes to Social Security, that's what they're going to average. They're averaging July, August, and September, and those numbers they're going to come up with in October. They'll let us know what the average looks like for COLA for 2023. But just looking at the numbers, we know that the CPI score was 8.3, and a large reason why that we saw that 8.3 when it came to the CPI. Now I'm talking strictly about the CPI score. The main reason that we saw it at 8.3, which it's dropping. It's been dropping since June. June was an uptick, so it was 9.1, and then it dropped in July down to 8.5, and now it's dropped to 8.3. And the main reason for that is gas prices. Gas prices are down about 26%, and so that's good. That's good. That means that we're moving in the right direction when it comes to that. The only problem that we're seeing right now is month to month. The month to month from July to August went up just a tick. So it went up 0.1%, which could be an indicator that in the future we could see inflation go back up. And so what I want to talk about is I want to talk about Social Security. I want to talk about COLA. So let's say inflation goes up a little bit in September, and we get those numbers in October. And then the Social Security Administration comes down and they say, okay, COLA is going to be, and I'm just giving you guys an estimate. I don't know where it's going to be, but let's say they say COLA is going to be 8.6. 8.6 for 2023. And then in October, in November, and December, we see that uptick continue. And inflation goes up even higher, and it goes up higher than 8.6. And then when we get to January, where they start distributing the boost for Social Security, so let's say it's 8.6, that 8.6 increase, people start receiving that. We need to watch inflation, because if inflation continues to rise and it gets back up to 9.1 or 9% or higher, well, now we're looking at a situation where people who've received that COLA, they're still going to be underwater when it comes down to it. Their money is still not going to go as far because inflation is higher than what the COLA increase was. So that's what we need to watch. We saw that all in 2022. We've seen this, okay? We've been here before. COLA for 2022 was 5.9%, and we're looking at inflation that's higher than 5.9%. And it's been that way for pretty much the whole year. And so this is a very serious situation for a lot of people. We're also looking at the housing market. The housing market we're seeing interest rates at 6%, and we haven't seen that in years. So I mean, I think it went back to 2008 was the last time that we saw the interest rates that high. And then guess what? The Federal Reserve this month, they're going to be raising interest rates again. And so we're in a situation where the Federal Reserve, and we all know this, they're trying to cool off the economy, but we could be in a situation where they cool it off too much. And so I'm going to talk about that in another video. I'll talk about the housing market a little bit more and give you guys some more numbers when it comes to that. But this is a crazy time. Okay, it's a very crazy time. It's very important that we watch in the next couple of months. We're watching what's going on, because that has a major impact when it comes to Social Security. And then we have the midterm election. That's going to have a major impact when it comes to the future of Social Security, because they're going to be talking about reforms. They talk about it all the time. And if we have a new Congress in there, they're going to have their plan. And we need to know what that plan is when it comes down to it. Even though we haven't really gotten any information when it comes to, when I say a new Congress, I'm talking about new leadership. Let's say the Republicans take over both the House and the Senate. Now we have new leadership. What do they want to do? How do they want to move forward when it comes to Social Security? We've received some hints, but we don't know exactly what they want to do. They have not put a plan forward. The only plan that's been put forward is sunsetting Social Security every 5 years, okay, and that would be disastrous. And basically when I say sunsetting, it means that Congress needs to look into Social Security and Medicare every 5 years. That's the only thing that we know, and that's one Republican politician that's come up with a plan, but that's it. We don't have any more information when it comes down to it. So I want to know what you guys think about all this, so let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.